Do It Women Show. I'm your host, Debra Morrison, certified financial planner, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author. This is the show where women over 50 prove that our best chapters are still being written. Let's meet today's guest, Eva Vennari. Eva, welcome to the show.
So glad to be here, Deborah. Thanks for having me.
Right now, it's certainly our privilege. And Eva is the founder of the Elevate Institute. She's an international speaker, best-selling author, and holistic practitioner. Wow. And does she have some skill sets? And she came by this very honestly. In her early 20s, ended up with a lot of mysterious health issues. Talk to us about it, Eva.
Oh my goodness. I was a hot mess. There were things that didn't have names that suddenly had now Latin names to them. And then the prognosis wasn't so good. Everything from osteoarthritis to early onset menopause to depression, of course, anxiety, insomnia, all of the things that go with chronic fatigue. And it was daunting because I was also raising two small children on my own.
Well, this has to be not really gnarly because you go from one doctor to another and to another. And how many doctors did you really tap that no one seemed to have an idea as to what was really at the center of these symptoms?
Yeah, it was very easy to receive a diagnosis of a name. You know, we think it's this, but the doctor to doctor, I think around 10 different, and that includes not just the MDs who literally turned their back on me, and I saw the white coat back as they're writing into my folder, has mental illness, needs help, and not there's really something wrong with the body. And then there's the specialist, the endocrinologist, the orthodontist, orthopedic, everything, the whole, why is a person in their 20s hunched over with sciatica and can't function and with full range of motion? They were very perplexed and didn't have answers.
And how did it start? You were tired? How did it start? Pain? What the heck?
Oh, when I was very young, I remember having itchy skin. Like itchy skin, and the doctors would say, I'm young, I mean like 9, 10 years old, around puberty for me, and the doctors would say, just put some lotion on it. Well, that wasn't a good solution. It didn't solve it. It didn't get to the bottom of it. We're not that dumb, are we? That we need to put lotion on your itchy skin.
Next.
And then that snowballed and developed into my depression. So going through puberty, I developed depression that was unseen, unacknowledged. I knew I was not feeling good. I wanted to, all the things that come with being depressed. I wanted to not be here anymore. And so that started progression of complacent. I guess this is my life. And then it wasn't until I was 20 when I was diagnosed with autoimmune disorder. And somehow along the way, I had contracted scarlet fever. Who has scarlet fever anymore? And this I was 20 years old, quite alarming. So yeah, it was a progression of not just on time thing. And the one progression led to another progression that just diminished my body's overall ability to be fortified and to be able to fight off, to be resilient. And I lost it all. And I was I was a very active teenager in gymnastics and volleyball and high level in academia. So I was pushing myself to achieve. And that was always my world. And I was like, well, I guess I'm supposed to be tired at the end of all of this.
Yeah. Or not. So Eva, you were working during your early 20s, clearly. And how did all of these health symptoms actually affect your work life? I mean, boy, how could you be productive?
Well, couldn't. I remember a couple of things very distinctly. One is being so debilitated and unable to get up off of the couch at nighttime to tuck my girls into bed. They would toddle over next to me and, Mommy, can you tuck us in bed? No, I'm too tired. This was a time when so important to pick up and hug your children. And I could not do that either. It was all there. If they would have to climb me like a tree if they wanted me to hold them. It was every day a struggle. You get up tired because the sleep was not, it wasn't restful. And many times you wake up in the night and when the headaches, I remember, where migraine level headaches would start midday and I couldn't take anything to get rid of them. It used to be a cup of coffee would help. I would get rid of the headache 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Then that stopped working, and that's a little scary. You're like, oh, my go-to solution doesn't work anymore. And then I'm trying to figure out computer issues and solutions to needs of the corporation, and what do I need to set up for, technical work. It requires brain power. You can have a headache when you're doing that. And it was more than a headache, right? It was also I couldn't move very well. I was in a lot of pain. I had osteoarthritis. The itchy skin still continued. That didn't go away just because of the depression. It all was there. And being able to think or remember, my short-term memory loss was starting to go. So very, very scary. Were moments where I realized I cannot function, but I have to, because these two girls depend on me, and that's all they have.
Oh my gosh. So at what point did you imagine that you could start to learn about health and this chronic illness and what might help you, rather than the non-answers from the medical establishment?
Hit and miss, and a lot of, at the time when you typed in, we're talking about early 2000s to 2010, you type into Google alternative medicine, and it's just this, it's tons and tons and tons of returns. How do you organize it? How do you put this together? Where do you start? Who should I be talking to? And I tell you what prompted me to start with alternative medicine. It was hearing the doctor say to me, we don't know what's wrong with you. We don't know how to help you. And I remember asking the doctor, if I were to take the prescription medications for my mental state that you're wanting me to take right now, what's my prognosis? What is going to happen if I take in 5 years down the road? Oh, well, you'll be on Social Security disability. You won't be in society as a functioning member. You're just going to be in pain in a wheelchair. And I said no. And that's when I fired them. So it was that idea that I was not going to be a functioning member of society that gave me the agency to find my own answers. And I was, I'm stubborn. So I used that to my advantage. I'm going to find the answer. If I give my body what it needs, it can heal itself. And I held on to that like it was my lifeblood, and it was.
And it was. Now hold that thought, because we're going to be right back with more from Eva Vennari.
Let me introduce you to Debra Morrison. If you're a woman who thinks her best years are behind her, we're here to tell you your best chapter is just beginning. Join the We Can Do It Women Facebook group. It's more than a community, it's a revolution. Reclaim your dreams, master your finances, and unleash your potential. We're just getting started. Join now, and let's make the rest of our lives the best of our lives. We can do it, women. Join us today.
Welcome back to the We Can Do It Women. Let's continue this conversation with Eva. Let's pick up where you left off. You decided you were not going to be in a wheelchair.
No, I was not. I decided that was not okay. And that was at the age of 30-ish, 31, 32. And the doctor who gave me that diagnosis, you're going to be in a wheelchair by the age of 35, was also in a wheelchair. And I said, no, this isn't going to work for me. I'm not resigning myself to that. And today I'm 52 and I dance ballroom dancing in heels. Yeah, it's a decision. Yeah.
But this was a real, I think you're like, an excavator or something, on the internet and whatever sources. We didn't have quite as many sources then as we have now. How long did it take you in years to really come to putting pieces together that were really effective in giving you that relief?
I think it was a total of 16 years. So from the point where I was diagnosed with autoimmune and didn't have an answer for that, they said, we don't know what's wrong. It'll lead to chronic fatigue. And it took them 10 years to diagnose me with chronic fatigue. So I'm still looking for solutions, discovering things like rolfing to help with the pain in the joints. That gave me some relief, but it wasn't giving me long enough relief. Massage felt good in the moment, but as soon as you stopped massaging me, it didn't feel good anymore. And those were not normal responses. So I learned through trial and error, the things that should normally be giving the body a chance to relax and heal were not working. So there had to be something else. And it drove me to continue to search. And then it was one night, since I was blessed with insomnia, up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I put in the search string of all of the different symptoms that I had been given. And I came across this very weird article, long and dry to anybody else who wasn't living this experience. And it was just But I was, and it was perfectly describing all of the things that were going on in my body if I was filled with toxic metals, had an imbalance in my nutrient minerals that were yet to be discovered and addressed, had viruses that were banging around inside my body that I thought had died and cleared out of me that were still inside. All of these things, including parasites and chemicals from our food, from our water supply. Change up the type of water you drink, change up the type of food you eat. I was one of the originals in organic food. Like, the reason why the price finally came down were people like me who bought them in the highest prices possible because we had to. You know, now it's normal. It's every day. Oh, organic. We take that for granted. I remember ordering the meal at a restaurant, and I would ask the waiter, do you have any gluten-free bread? Oh, I'll be right back. And he brought more glutinous bread. He did not know. We had a society that just did not know what these words were. So I was a pioneer. And I developed a lot of the senses of what is a body that is depleted? What does that need to get to that next step? Because what we think it needs is often not what the body actually needs. And so getting to the bottom of that was the mystery.
And when we're dealing with natural solutions, it doesn't happen like prescription drugs. Prescription drugs hit you like a load of bricks, and yet probably aren't going to, cure you. So you're going at this naturally, and that had to require a whole lot of patience. But I'm sensing you had some little wins along the way that made you feel like a human being again and back to your old self, right?
Well, yes. And yet not at first. At first, I tried all the diets. I tried the Eat Right for Your Blood type and the Coconut Miracle Diet. You remember these? I'm dating myself. So I tried all of these, and I felt better while I was doing the diet or doing the thing that was different. But as soon as I stopped, my body would rubber band snap back to the old way, or even be worse than it was before I started. So I knew the difference between temporary relief, Band-Aid relief, and permanent relief. And it was when I started doing this mineral balancing work, that was when I noticed permanent change. And it wasn't. So what is mineral balancing? Is that what you're going to ask?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mineral balancing, in short, is the displacement process. You give the body what it needs, the minerals go in, and the body has its own knowledge, its own wisdom, and it says, oh, I know where these minerals are supposed to go. I like minerals.
And it routes
it finds where they're supposed to live, and it pulls out the tenants, which are the toxic metals and the chemicals and the other imbalances that we have, out of those places, puts them into the bloodstream, and then we have to expel them in every possible way. It's like being that airline stewardess, find the exits, all of the exits.
Well, so, not exactly like that, but we get it.
Yeah, the idea is your body does get rid of them. We become a construction site. What goes in is the new materials. Your body builds up what it needs to. It takes what it needs from what you give it in a priority, works on what it needs to, not what you think it needs to. We have our own little list. We have the hypothyroidism. We have the dry skin. We have the irregular cycles. We have the pain. We have all of these things in a list. We're like, I want this to be fixed first.
Yes.
And we have to let go of that, because the body's over here saying, I need this kind of sleep. I need these minerals. I need this much water. I need, and if we give them those things, then it's going to work on, eventually it'll get rid of all of this list. But this list is more important. And I know my hands are disappearing in the background.
Well, it's so true that the body does know, that is kind of an axiom, but it is so true. And it was such a good development for you to be patient enough to, as you say, start and stop in that progression of giving your body what it needed. And I have to say, I don't know if I would have had that kind of tenacity, although the pain would, and you're alleviating the pain, is probably a good motivator. So I commend you highly. And so you've broadened your horizons to a number of different quote unquote healing modalities. That's what I'm calling them. Talk to us about those and how you went about developing your prowess in them.
Yeah. Well, it's funny what you can accomplish when you diminish the pain in the body, but it's still a lot of interruption in your ability to concentrate is pain. So once the pain was gone, and that took maybe 3 or 4 months for the body to calm down and the joints to stop being so inflamed, that now I could concentrate and open up consciousness. And I didn't know that I had a lot of the skill sets for spiritual healing that I now use every day. And they developed as my body became static free. So I was going from an unhealthy body to a healthy body, and that static was the unhealthy part. And the static was keeping me from hearing and tuning into the spiritual gifts of healing that I have, not just for myself, but for others. And so the spiritual gifts started to come online. What kind of things? Well, can you imagine being raised Catholic? You don't talk about spirit. Not in this way, not in ghosts, not in communication from the other side. Who are you talking to? What is that? Is that demonic? There's an awful lot of questioning that goes into this discovery. That's a whole story all on its own. But in brief, just like the smallest amount, it was a priest that told me, Eva, don't be so quick to push away these energies. You have spirit communication as a gift. You need to develop that, learn discernment, and then use it. And that's what started the whole thing.
Wow. And we can circle back to a priest who had the sense and the wisdom to honor that in you instead of name it something else, like some people might have done in various different religious fundamentalism comes to mind traditions. We are going to continue this in a second. Hold your spot. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Let me introduce you to Debra Morrison. If you're a woman who thinks her best years are behind her, we're here to tell you your best chapter is just beginning. Join the We Can Do It Women Facebook group. It's more than a community, it's a revolution. Reclaim your dreams, master your finances, and unleash your potential. We're just getting started. Join now, and let's make the rest of our lives the best of our lives. We can do it, women. Join us today.
Welcome back to the We Can Do It Women show, and we're continuing our conversation with Eva Vennari, and Eva has given us some very, very powerful story about her own illness that flummoxed the doctors and her moving through that to developing and getting very, very locked into situations and solutions that worked for her. And this is really powerful. Now, the other thing that is really amazing to me is your ex-husband had health issues and died of a heart attack at age 45. You were really surrounded by a lot of unknowns, were you not?
Oh, but wait, there's more, Debra. There's more. Well, that's really what started my journey of needing to understand and discern spirit, message, and energy. Because when he passed, I started to hear him right here, over here, right next to my ear. And that can make any person feel a little bit out of depth. What the heck is that? But I recognized him, and I recognized his voice. I recognized his speech pattern. It was no different in death than it was in life. And that's what made me pursue, call it a psychic surgeon instead of an exorcist, because exorcism, I think, is for demonics. But a person that attaches themselves to you. Many people have experienced this, but for me, I was like, I did not give permission for this. And so I learned about spirit communication, working with angels, developing the light to heaven and how to utilize that. I was trained by angels. How many people can say that? I was trained by angels how to heal these ancestral wounds like this, where we develop attachments from family. He didn't belong here still, and he needed to go. And so I was taught by angels how to cleanse his soul and then move him on through so that he could live a peaceful life and I could be free. And lo and behold, how much energy that takes from our ability to heal, because during that time when he was attached, I was waking up with even less of a sense of being restful and peaceful and recovered from a night's sleep. It just wasn't going to happen. So we can be pulled on energetically from many different directions. And I learned all about them all at once.
And I'm glad that you learned and you got through those to the end. Well, it's not an end, but to your awakening of various modalities that you use. I'm your client, and you have pulled in various healing modalities as they seemed appropriate. And I can tell you it works. So this is amazing. I know you've talked about 3 key axioms. I want you to just opine about them a little bit. You talk about purpose and health tend to go hand in hand.
Yeah. I touched on it ever so slightly a second ago when I said that we don't know what's pulling on our energies. One of them is, if we are not living in our purpose, if you came here with this itch in your soul to do something to heal humanity and change the world, it is your obligation to find out what that it is. What is the service? Develop it and offer it. Because if you don't, well, first of all, everything else you do will fail. That's been my personal experience. and you're denying the rest of us. So this was very important, as the Elevate Institute is developed in order to support that journey. That's really what it comes down to.
It's powerful, and it's so true. Your second axiom, which I love, listening and loving yourself first is the first step to healing.
Yeah. A lot of times, especially women, we're taught to sacrifice our own desires, our own needs, our own understanding of who we are, what we are all about in a moment, for the benefit of others. And what is missing in that whole social construct is the airplane oxygen mask theory. Put the mask on yourself first, then you can help your neighbor. And as long as we do that, then you can help as many people as you want to, but take care of yourself first. Listen to those complaints yourself. Understand you're the only one that lives inside your skin. No one else can describe it for you better than you can.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. So we want to voice whatever is coming up for us, because it's our voice, it's our scenario, and we deserve to be in complete authenticity so that we can give it to others. I think we get that in reverse. A lot of socialization has given us that. Your third axiom is longevity and reversing chronic illness have the same solution.
That's right. Yeah, that's something I discovered while I was communicating with people about all of the different symptoms that I had. I mean, we are our own best billboard whenever we're trying to sell a service. And when I spoke, oh, Eva, I don't have that many symptoms. I feel pretty good. Then I realized, well, just because you don't have the symptoms doesn't mean you don't need the support. So the same solution for chronic illness, that same priority list that the body has, it's over here busy doing things while we think that this is what it needs to be working on. Some people don't have a list over here. So lucky. But the body's still doing things over here on this side. So supporting that is the longevity. You cannot get to longevity if you are constantly dealing with chronic illness. So to reverse the chronic illness, then the longevity can be fortified. I have people that have been started with me, and I says, well, it's great. You're at a place where you don't have that list. You don't need to be with me anymore. And they're like, but I love how I feel. Can't I just stick around? That's when I discovered it's the same solution.
Wow. So talk to us about the one message you'd love our viewers to walk away with after our convo today.
Yeah, that one thing is, don't let anybody dismiss you. Don't let people tell you that what you just experienced can't be true based on their knowledge. Again, they're not you. They don't live in your skin. You're the one who experiences it. Trust that.
Absolutely. And, people tend to not take care of our bodies, right? And yet, if you don't take care of your body, where are you going to live, right? This is so important. And I really know that your work has been life-changing for so many people. And my thought was, you had a gift that you're going to give our viewers today. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I talked about energy and where it can be depleted. So I created something. We know what our IQ is. We know what our EQ is. Do you know what your EEQ is? Well, no, of course you don't, because I invented it. It's the Essential Energy Quotient Test. You can take this and answer the questions as honestly as you can. You're just going to get a number at the bottom, and it'll give you do I need to call 911 right now, or am I good? You're going to get a scale range. And what comes with that test result is the free #1 best-selling book. It's just a quick 40-page Essential Energy Quotient companion book, and it gives you actionable things that you can start doing today to help your energy and retain it.
Wow. So when you talk about Essential Energy Quotient, obviously we all are running on a certain, amount of energy. And when we can pull things out like metal and other distractions and negative energies in our body, we'll, unleash more energy. But the Essential Energy Quotient, is it like a number? I mean, how do we get the best results?
it's a moving number, which means you can improve it. And just if you get yourself a very low score, like DEFCON 5, you can improve it. So that's the whole point of this. It's not meant to be a diagnosis. It's meant to be an awareness. And the questions themselves are a little bit leading. You'll see when you take the test, because it's the, are you, and like the very first one, are you enjoying your what you do for work in your life? If you don't, guess what? That's pulling on your energy. So it's meant to be a little bit of a discovery while you're answering the questions. But yeah, it is take it again in 30 days and see how you did.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I like to keep this progress report. So this is valuable and this is free. So it's a great way to introduce Eva's prowess, her brain, her experience, and what she's receiving from this side of the veil and beyond. I have been witness to that and can attest to it being a completely powerful and enlightening time. And I certainly suggest that you contact Eva, and we're going to have the link in the show notes, and you can grab both this quotient test and the free digital book to give you this kind of accompaniment, so that if you come across a term or something you don't quite understand, oh, there it is. And of course, Eva is an email or a phone call away. We are blessed beyond words to have you. Thank you, Eva, for joining us today. And viewers, thank you for joining us on the We Can Do It Women show. I'm Debra Morrison, and please come over and visit wecandoitwomen.com to join our community. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep proving what's possible.